Hello and welcome to the transparency. It's midday. Let's do this.
This morning, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents sharing exclusively with GMA never before seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
This is a type of, you can like season with these. Like, you can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some 4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still, frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up.
Yeah. And the way that room's put together, if you come through that door, you can't get out of that room.
Completely, totally trapped.
Yeah. You're in a bed.
Tiny room. The bed was the entire room. You could barely open up the door without swiping the foot of the bed. And it was wall. You know, the headboard was up against the wall. The side where Kaylee was on was up against the wall. And if you can imagine Kaylee in an upright sort of position, up in the corner, slumped. I mean, she was trapped.
The home on King Road was torn down in the pre-dawn hours of December 28th.
All right, guys, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. First, a couple things I want to point out there. Trash not gone through. Who is Mr. Gonzalez fighting with? He wants a copy of his daughter's phone.
This morning, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents sharing exclusive, never before seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
You can like season with these. Like, you can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were all right. So right there, you're sitting here fighting with somebody that just doesn't care. Who is he referring to that does not care? That's interesting to me. They're waiting for that, a copy of the phone. I don't know what they're going to be turning over, if it's just going to be pictures, how they're giving the family this copy of this digital, all the digital. A digital copy to me is that's just interesting. But who doesn't care? Who doesn't care? The family should never be saying that, I'm fighting with somebody that just doesn't care. Who doesn't care? Does that mean law enforcement? Does that mean the prosecutor? Want to know your guys' thoughts on that. So that's number one, is who is Mr. Gonzalez, talking about there? Then they're supposed to be getting this digital print of her phone. Curious what that all means, what that all entails.
Were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can.
Okay, so now if you guys remember correctly, this was all a big thing, like, hey, we're trying to give the families back their kids' belongings so we can get some of the stuff back to them. Here, the family's saying, we didn't ask for it. We didn't want it then. If you're giving us stuff, we're questioning the investigation. Like, how are you able to give us any of this stuff? And you didn't need to go through her trash. And that's going to be the next point I'm going to talk about, is like then the trash. From
Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than
So in Kaylee's room, her trash can was full. Did they give the family the trash? How did the family know that the trash can was full? Did they see pictures?
We opened it. It was a little squeezy apple.
evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence.
I mean, think about that. Think about that. We're going to pack up Kaylee's room and we're going to pack up the trash because we're also going to give you the garbage can with the trash in it. Here you go. Wow. I just don't have any words.
Was full and appeared untouched.
Here's the trash can from your
University
daughter's
over the
room.
summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some 4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still,
I would want to know whose stuff was being thrown away in that room. If Kaylee, in fact, was not there for a while, then she comes back that weekend. Kaylee's room seemed to be really well put together. I know that her bed was in there. I know this because of the pictures, the green little blanket, whatever. It's the same as when she allegedly was living there. You can see that in the video with Murphy. So her bed and that comforter was there. You know, you can move out and then you could say, I'm going to go get my stuff at a different point. I'm in the process of moving out. But Kaylee's room was, for the most part, it seemed like it was really well put together and clean. And so I'm curious what was all in the trash. Did that stuff belong to Kaylee? Was somebody, you know, in her room? Was any of the stuff that was in that trash can somebody else's? But I'm surprised that the Gonzalez's were ever even said that they were going to be able to get the digital footprints of Kaylee's phone during this and not till like afterwards.
frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up
Yes.
and had fought.
Yeah. And the way that room's put together, if you come
And that Kaylee fought. Okay. I to have to be able to talk about it. The family still talking about it. Still, Jeez. I mean, I really don't. I don't really have anything to say. That's just what happened to all of them were sleeping. Everybody was sleeping. You know when you're not even you don't even need to be about to be unalived, but if you're in a room and you're woken up, okay, it's going to you know when somebody scares you or like you're coming down the stairs and someone's standing there and they jump out at you and you're like your natural reaction is to like scream. I can't imagine that there would be no screaming, and somebody is fighting back and that no one's screaming, to the point that these aren't screams that you think that someone's having a good time. Okay, you can totally tell the difference between that horror type scream. And I just think the best way to describe that is like, if you have children, when your kid is screaming and getting into that crying, about to cry, and that scream is just awful, and you know that it's just, that's not a, oh, you know, a scream that then turned into, oh, you idiot, you totally, you know, the laughing that you just try to scare me type of thing. If the killer was only expecting one person in that room, that would also catch them off guard. If there was a fight, everything that would have happened in that room, and it wouldn't have been to plan. Uh, I think that that room would be in complete disarray. So the order of everything, you know, if Kaylee's screaming, but you know, that to me is how it could be that Ethan and Xana were in a position when the person came down, ran into them. You know what I mean? But the order is going to matter. And I know people talk about Mr. Gonzalez and saying they didn't have to go upstairs. You know, you didn't have to go upstairs. Like this person chose to go upstairs. And does that mean that he means that they went up there looking, you know, for them specifically, or for that person, if it was one person? Because Chrissy believes, I think when she had spoken, she had said that, you know, they went in there to kill one person, but ended up killing 3 more. You know, I don't know if she still feels that way. I don't know if it's based on what she's been told, and that's why she feels that way. But Dylan says that in the PCA that she was awoke, but I don't buy that, because if you just went to bed, how can you just be like, you're just waking up? That she was awoke to what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog. I mean, do you guys understand those words? Playing with a dog? Screaming like that is playing with a dog. I just, that makes me sick. That should tell you how intoxicated somebody could possibly be, to the point that everything they would have to say then makes no sense, because you would never think that anybody that was getting unalived and stabbed to death is playing with their dog. I mean, and why would you even think that? Does Kaylee normally play with her dog at 4:00 in the morning? You know, and so to even think that I'm going to write that in a PCA, to me is just mind blowing. But they have to go with something, right? As to, you're going to claim that this person is your witness, that this person then witnessed this killer leaving. And that's how they're saying the time of the crime was at that time. I don't know what jury, whether you're in Latah County or whether you're in Ohio or you're in Florida, but I have no idea how anybody can possibly, when they are going to be able to be on this jury and listening to what Bethany and Dylan are about to say, how any of this is going to be able to be believed and or considered credible, if in fact there are drugs and alcohol that have been taken throughout the whole entire day and then into the night. Because how in the world can anybody that's going to sit on this jury, doesn't matter where you're at, when you're going to lead listening to what Dylan and Bethany have to say, and anybody that's going to sit there and tell you that what I heard, I thought it was Kaylee playing with her dog. If Ann Taylor cannot destroy that narrative, then I think that she will be failing epically for the defense of Brian Kober, because how is that going to be? How does anybody in here believe that? And all it takes is one person to not believe that part of it. So, and if that's truly what you thought it was, and that's how impaired you were to think that, that what you heard was a dog and a college student playing together, that should tell you how impaired that person was if that's what they thought was happening. So then the rest of their thoughts and what they saw and what they heard, come on. So I think you can attack that one of two ways. I think that let her say that and then say, okay, so, but truly then you're going to have to show truly what happened up there and that that person thought that based on it. I think that's just disturbing. I think that should just tell anybody that would be on the jury how whatever Dylan has to say or that she saw or what she heard is just completely, I would be using that actually as to help my case, that that's what she thought in her impaired state, that somebody getting stabbed to death, two people upstairs, that sounded to her like a dog was playing with its owner. And I think I would just let that speak for itself right there. That, okay, so everything else that she heard, like that's how off she was with that. So then anything else that she says that she heard or saw would be that off. Because the reality of the situation is that Kaylee was not playing with her dog, right? And neither was Maddie, right? No, they were being stabbed to death, right? Right. So, and that's what she would show as the reality of the situation. And so what she then heard any other time when the person came down the stairs or walked past her or anything like that, how could she then get it right with that? What she thought she heard someone saying, I'm here to help you. Give me a fucking break. She thought that Kaylee was playing with her dog. So then therefore I would take everything that Dylan had to say and it's gone, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how, I don't care where the jury is going to be at, how anybody could possibly say, hey, oh, well, what Dylan didn't hear was what? That should just tell you how fucked up she was. Cause nobody, if I'm with it, I would be saying things. I don't know. I was drunk. I was hammered. I was impaired. I woke up. I don't know. I heard something going on upstairs. I just figured it was like the dog playing because then it stopped. I mean, is Kaylee normally screaming at the dog? I don't know. I think that this is wild. Wild so much that when you were interviewing Dylan, you would be like, wait, what? You thought that, okay. I don't understand. They clearly though they clearly had to put something in the PCA that Dylan heard something, right? Because how else are they going to say that that's when the time of the crime happened? You get what I'm saying? They're sacrificing what was truly heard, or like having her say this, or this is to clearly get that time of the crime that they have to pin at this point. And that's what's they're using to corroborate that. I can't. If I was on the jury, if I'm hearing that, I would just think it's not credible. Like, you can't base the time of the crime on somebody that clearly thought that that's what was going on up there, you know? I would just think it was not whatever she has to say, and I'm gonna need some digital footprints of what to corroborate anything to do with time of crime. But they need to say that she heard something, and they need to say that that happened when she was what? On her phone, standing up, getting down, going out, looking. And then they clearly probably got her digitals back, saw that she was walking around, and we have to have an excuse as to why you're walking around. Well, because I was in my bed and then I got up and then I went back and then I came back and then I mean, clearly her digitals show probably, meaning Dylan's, that she was walking around. And so, oh, I was just in my room though. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're gonna they have to come up with something because it looks like Dylan's just walking around. I was walking around in my room though. I was laying down, then I got up, and so I'm so curious to see what those digitals look like. And then we're talking about Kaylee's room is right above um I'm sorry, Kaylee's room is right above the kitchen. So above Dylan's room um isn't Kaylee's room. Kaylee's room is right above the kitchen. Um just mm-mm-mm. Um and if that slider was open, guys, like they say, the slider was open. Any type of screaming and stuff, like the as far as Linda Lane goes and the sound. Um, I know that it carries. We see what it's like when you go and you watch the body cams and there's music playing from there, being blasted. Um, and what I kind of just see here in this PCA, I'm telling you more and more like the PCAs compared to other cases that Idaho has done. Um, you kind of just you can kind of say what you want. Um, but this is just change a venue. Okay, let's change the venue up. Um, ooh, yeah. The walls were. The house was really easy to knock down. I mean, took them no time to do it. It's just sad. This is sad. Um, if everyone was in bed, why would she think it was a party? Yeah, I mean, I don't think she thought that. I mean, nowhere in there does she say that that's what Ashley Banfield ran with. Ashley Banfield and her fucking sources. Um, I think everybody would have heard lots. And everything would happen like really quickly. This is super sad. But the garbage, I just here you go. Here's the garbage can.
With GMA never before seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
This is a type of, you can like season with these. Like, you can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last
Sunday.
moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some
I just can't believe that they were given, here's Kaylee's room and we just packed it up as is and here's our trash can. I don't know. You don't need her trash if you have her phone data and it's incriminating in some way. What's up, critical thinking? What's up? What's up? Yeah. I mean, I do think they went to the bedrooms and Tilly did just, put it in bags and gave it to him. And they would have just labeled that here, we'll put the little mini trash can in it too. And here, this is the trash. I would just want that. I would want to see let's test some of that DNA, who was in that room. Trash usually has lots of DNA on it, doesn't it? Yeah. This writing stuff like this doesn't help in chats, just so you know. There's no evidence of this whatsoever. So that would be, in your opinion, there was a camera in Kaylee's room. That's what's going to help. Otherwise, we can't let comments like that stay in chat. That's spreading misinformation. So if it's your opinion that you think there was cameras in Kaylee's room, go right ahead and say it. But no one has come out and said that ever, not once, anywhere. So I will be highlighting that to say that that's just not that's not out there as fact at all. Whew. So yep, again, she put her motion in. She doesn't believe that Brian Colbert is going to get a fair trial in Latah County. We'll see what happens with that. Woo. I wonder if Judge is going to comment and put out an order that says, here's our schedule. We're going to go ahead and shoot for, 2025, the summer. So he says he doesn't feel comfortable putting something out that far. They're expecting a lot of, motions to go in, obviously. Where would you go if you moved it? You're looking at where you're going to move it to Boise. You're going to move it to Coeur d'Alene. Are you going to just bus in your jurors? They did that in Pennsylvania in 2001, 2002 case for Jamie Brown's. Those jurors they came in from Erie instead of Beaver County. They came in from Erie. So do you bring in, you're going to bus in your jurors? I don't know. Thank you there, Layla. Appreciate you. Also, that's a hike. That's a drive. It's a drive every time that, Anne has to go to Moscow. It's a drive. Do you sequester the jurors? Think about this. If you don't take their phones from them, what's the use of, how do you even do that nowadays? You have your phone after you go home. Everybody's streaming it on television. Everybody's talking about it on the internet. I don't know, when you deal with such high profile cases like this, how stuff wouldn't be, people wouldn't be subject to knowing about it. But Bill Thompson saying his ridiculous little splats. Well, we can go to Lewis. Lewis, they don't seem to know anything about the case because you happen to run into somebody. Like, Jesus. One person. I don't know, man. I would just think that I'd want to be able to be comfortable if I was a prosecutor and a defense attorney with during the course of the trial. I want all my stuff. I want my desk. However I'm working and operating, and preparing, and then even like I think during the course of the trial, there's still like things that go on during the trial that you're making adjustments or because of what somebody said. I mean, unless you're deposing the shit out of everybody beforehand, and so what they're going to be saying. Jay, you got a good point there. Needs to be moved out of the state. Everything else was. And what she means by that is they flew shit to Texas to test stuff. They use this, they use that. I still can't get over Bill Thompson not having any reply to Ann Taylor's 20 minutes of just boom, boom, boom. We don't even know how you got to our client still, and Bill Thompson doesn't say anything to that. Just talks about, there's a lot there's a lot of material, and it's reasonable. 2025, and we're gonna go the summer. Ugh. What is up, the new me? Lana, finally catching you on a live. I watch all the replays. Well, good. You better be watching those replays. Good to see you. I do think it'll stay in Idaho as well. It will stay in Idaho, says Blue Jean Baby. I agree with that. We love the replay crew, says Heather. Yes, we do. Yep, the G's are the only family speaking publicly at all. Occasionally
4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still, frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up
Yes.
and had fought.
Yeah.
So if Kaylee fought and Xana fought to the point that allegedly her fingers were almost severed off from like grabbing at the knife and stuff like that, I can't believe that 911 was not called until noon. I cannot believe, unless those two people weren't there, that nobody would go and check on when you hear these type of screams, and to the point that house was small, deceivingly small, and that all you would have to do is take a couple steps to just go and see into Xana's room. You go up, right up those stairs at the top. It's just, there's no hallway. Just boom. Like, we were at Christmas, one of my cousin's kids, they were running around and he fell and he hit his head. It was on Christmas and it cut it open and it was blood, coming out bad. She's a nurse, and, so they rushed him on over, got him some staples, and he's such a tough kid. He's a great kid. Comes right back over and just starts mowing back down on Christmas Day, dinner and food. And I was talking to my cousin, and because I was impressed, I was like, girl, how's the blood not all over you? You know, she's like, I grabbed that towel. She's like, oh my God. But on the way there, I'm making, her husband drive like a lunatic to get to the hospital. And she's like, but Lana, you know what? I almost passed out when I'm holding him like this. She's like, I start getting the like, she's like that iron. She's like, I almost like, I was like gagging. And literally when she had said that to me, immediately I thought about this case at Christmas time when this happened, and she's talking about, now she's a nurse, mind you. So she's used to, she delivers babies. Blood, she's like, it was the smell. She's like, I can handle blood all day, but she's like, but the amount I was holding, like the way I was holding him, and it was just in my face, that smell. And I was just like, immediately thought of this case and just the amount of blood that they're talking about, that what that house would have smelled like, and boom. So nobody goes and checks on anybody. 911's not called until noon. And what that tells me is everybody's flipping out about the Kansas City case. What the fuck? You didn't know that there was 3 dead bodies in your backyard for 2 days? Wait a second. You didn't know that 4 people were straight up, brutally slain in your home when you were getting up and walking around, to the point of then the smell of all of the blood. Like, huh? So people are going ham on this Jordan guy, okay? Thinking that he's just the devil of a mad scientist. But we look at the Idaho4 case, and this was inside the home. Somebody enters your home. Somebody walks by you. You hear all this screaming. You had to smell this, but you do nothing. And then you aren't even the one to call 911. Truthfully, somebody else did from one of their phones. That's what I believe. And so I'm over here just like, they're like, drugs were involved over there, and it's okay for you to say that about that case, but we talk about drugs being involved in this case, or we talk about how did these, 2 girls, like WTF, and it's just crazy. It's crazy when you look at the 2 cases, and here you guys want to hang Jordan, and here nothing to see over here at the Idaho4 case. And God forbid us talk about drugs being involved. So Jordan Willis is the Kansas City 3, I call it. The 3 dead bodies found in Jordan Willis's backyard. If you guys have been following that case, I shouldn't even call it a case yet. It's an incident where 3 dead bodies were found, all friends, in the backyard, in snowy conditions, that after they were deceased, then the bodies were, they were frozen. But I'm not going to use the words that they froze to death, because we don't know how they died. But he lives at that home. He was there for 2 days. He says he did not know they were in the backyard. He did not know they were deceased. Fuck. But regardless, the stuff that is being sprayed right now is that Jordan was using them as guinea pigs to test one of his new drugs. So, yeah. I still can't imagine the smell of dead body bloating. Seriously, just so much blood. Danny says that no one is talking about the 215 bodies found buried behind a jail in Jackson, Mississippi, and some were recently reported missing by family. 215, huh? Ooh-wee. That's a lot. No 911. Let's lawyer up first. Looking at your guys' messages here. Yeah. Well, it looks like the blood was seeping through. But We looked at past videos. Yep. Yep. I want to show you guys something that I found, and you guys can be the judge of everything and all. You know that surveillance is playing a huge role and will be playing a huge role in the Idaho4 case. And so something that I was looking at was in another Idaho where the police, the state police were involved with the Brian Drake case. I had been going through hours and hours of surveillance cameras, and I came across, bank surveillance cameras. They're not Ring cameras. They're actually surveillance that is like 24 hours, just running clock, running time. And so I want to show you guys something that I think is interesting, and I want your guys' opinion. But something that I noticed with watching this is that all of a sudden, at different times in the video, between the 7 and 8 and 6 and 7 time frames, the video would pause. It would like pause, and then because I was like, okay, maybe it's just glitching. Then the next thing I would know is that it would be on a timestamp of, let's just say 6:15 and 30 seconds. Then the next thing I would see is that it would say 6:15 and 45 seconds, and it would pick up, and I would be looking at a screen and like poof, none of the cars that I was looking at were right there. It's a different, we're 15 seconds past that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I would like rewind this back, and I would say, okay, is this truly a glitch? Is it really there? But then my, computer was just being slow and something like that. So I'd have to run back, go forward, go back. And this took me a lot of hours. I would say 20 hours to put something together. And I was able to upload it here and put it on so that you guys could see it. But I want you guys to see what I found. Only because Idaho State Police, the same people that involved with the Idaho4 case. So I want to take a similar case where they were involved and there was a ton of surveillance. Same thing as Brian Koberger's case with the students. So let's see here if I share with you guys. So there was a woman that said she was Brian Drake's last patient in this. And so I was on a hunt to find a Honda Pilot. Okay. A Honda Pilot. Let's see. There it is. All right, I want to go right to this. All right, take a look at this. So this is from bank footage. Right across the street there is a liquor store. Now, right here, this is what I've dubbed here as the Honda Pilot. All right. Look in the back though. It's across. So we're at our point of view is from the bank. This is where I found this pilot, what I believe is the pilot. But look across the way. There is going to be a little dot light that you see. It's next to the building on the right-hand side. Pay attention to that throughout it. I'll talk to you guys through it. So here is what I found is this Honda Pilot, I believe. This is the only thing that resembles it enough that I could say that that's a Honda Pilot. But that's not the interesting part of what I found. The interesting part of what I found was right after the Honda Pilot comes this white truck. It is very similar in description of what Eldora Gatchel said. And then it was a Ford, bigger truck, bigger mirrors. It looked like it had running lights. It looked like the lights were on, like it was like running. and that's why she couldn't go out a certain way. Take a look. I'm putting a video together. So I rewind it back. All right, now take a look at this. You see those lights right there? They have a bar across with the lights. Running lights or whatever. I mean, now take a look at this. Okay. I want you to look back by that building now. All right, so I rewind it here. I point out that there's these running lights. This is the vehicle after Eldora, if it is in fact Eldora. Then what do? I rewind it because something in the back catches my eye, and it's next to the liquor store. Back there's the church. I see a car that is driving back, but that little dot right there, that is actually a light of a vehicle that came up on it's a back alley street at the same time that Eldora, and who I'm not going to say who I believe is in that truck, but I think I know who's in that truck. But what I was able to find is I went ahead and I took this all the way back because I said, where does that little light come from? Because it's never been there before and all the stuff I was watching. And so I rewind it. And then this is when I started realizing that when I was doing to catch the pilot, that there was 3 seconds missing. When I was trying to figure out when this vehicle, in fact, pulled up to that point and stopped, it's at the same time as basically Eldora is coming and passing on through. More importantly, so what I'm doing here right now is I'm getting the film to roll back with what I want it to do. So see that car right there? I rewind it all the way back. See how it has on the side, it looks like it has reflective lights. So I rewind it all the way back, and it's going to come back into play, and I'm going to line it up perfectly with, see, like that's the back light. Now look at the front light. That's what that light is. Okay, right there. And I keep on going. I keep rewinding because I want to see, when does that disappear? Where did that come from? And what I'm able to see right here, check this out. It just disappears because they take out time. Watch this. I keep going backwards. See how I keep going backwards? Now watch. I keep going back. Boom, it's just gone. It's just gone. And I'm like, what the F? And what I was able to see is, then I looked down and I said, oh my gosh, there's 3 seconds missing. Okay. There's 3 seconds missing. That light just doesn't, and it's missing because they don't want anyone to see that it's rolling up to go and to stop right there. Okay. What that is it's a parallel street to this 95 Street. And when I was in Bonners Ferry, I was back through there, and that's how you would come around from the back. Okay. And go back to this. Oopsies. Let's see. So then I press play again because I'm going to catch and pay attention on what the hell goes on and when that light kind of gets there, and right there you can see how it moved. See how it moved to come in. So you could see that it was a moving light, and it stops right there. It stops and it waits. This vehicle stops and waits. Boom, there's the Honda Pilot, Eldora, and then right behind her, okay, is this truck. But it's right there. Boom. And then watch what happens with this vehicle. See it? Sorry, see it start creeping. Here it goes. It waited for both of those to get out. Okay. And then watch. There you go. Mm-mm-mm. Pulled up and it waited, and then it zooms off. And then I went back. I'll show you guys. Right. So you know how Eldora Gatchel said that she left at, like, I don't know, 7:20, 7:25. I got her leaving at the same exact time as the 7:17 phone call, motherfucker. Suck my titties. Gotcha. Right there, that's the pilot. 7:17 in 25 seconds. But that car right behind it gets there before it. And they tried to, and right there, that vehicle that you just saw pass, that's Isaac Funderburg in his girlfriend's vehicle. Crazy. Right there. You see how the front tire, the right front tire, it has a darker color rim. It's not a black rim, but it's just a darker one because it's older. And it was kind of just like rusted out. If I line that up with what her vehicle looks like when they run the drone footage, check this out. See right there, that's Isaac Funderburg's building right there. To the right is that white Honda. Right there, that's it. Boom, got it. So I've been putting this together for quite some time right there. And then you see this truck right here that I catch right here? This blue truck here. That blue truck makes more circles around the crime scene than any vehicle before and after than any vehicle in Bonners Ferry. Anyways, that's this shit took me some time. But I can prove that he was murdered before 7/26. And I'll let you guys decide if you guys think that's a law enforcement vehicle back there or not. I believe it's a law enforcement vehicle. Shh, don't tell anybody. You guys could be the judge, though. But I think that that's it looks like it's a law enforcement car. Again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it's definitely somebody got there after he was shot, pulls up there and is waiting, and Eldora leaves, and then that truck leaves, and they're going. They're one right after the other. Eldora, and then that truck, and I'm going to tell you who has that truck. Look at boom, it's just gone. I said, what the fuck? I said, yes. And there was 3 seconds missing. I was like, you guys are trying to fucking hide whose car that is. Right there, it just strolls up. You know, the other thing that's crazy about that is guess who is the manager of this bank? You guys are never going to fucking believe this. The fucking judge's wife. Lana, no, you did not just say that. Yes, the judge on this case's wife, the manager of that bank, who would have had. So I'm just curious, was this tampered with? I can show that there's times missing, but you can't make this shit up, man. I did my digging. Judge Julian's wife, manager of the bank, this bank. I'm triple checking it to see if, in fact, she was still working there in 2020 on March 12th. Mm-hmm. You could be wrong, but nah. So yeah, a lot of time went into this. But you guys decide. Again, 7:17, same time as the phone call from Brian to Jennifer, allegedly. That's when this is all beginning. Yeah, it took me a long time to dig this out because Eldora Gatch was a fucking liar. Everybody's a fucking liar. But this video is going to be tits when it's done. It's good. It's that good shit. See, the back area here, where they go to the back, right here.
And she said I was there at like 6:40, 6:45, and she said it was me and my husband. And she said,
What's Eldora's husband's name?
I actually forget.
See that back area right there? That's consistent with all back and through there. That's consistent with what the debris is that's on, I believe, Brian's sweater. So
I've talked with her so many times, and I've only talked to her husband once, so I don't remember that.
Just go ahead.
Anyway, she had said that.
anyways, when it's all done, you guys will see it. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. And that's going to call it a wrap today. So check me out later. Until next time.